What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What is going on? This should be Tuesday's episode, so definitely tune in for Mondays, our other topics. So Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday's discussion. Thursdays is when we have our Ask Us SP. And then Fridays are everything else. So movies, books, TV shows, just whatever we've been doing throughout the week. That necessarily cyber focus, like 99.9% not cyber focus. But definitely tune into all that good stuff. Like, share, subscribe, to get our numbers up there. We greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is from infosecurity-magazine.com, and it's James Coker who wrote this one, right? And so the title of this one is Cybercrime Costs Organizations Nearly $1.79 million per minute, right? Yes, that number is with an M, right? $1.79 million per minute. So the big highlight here, right, is Risk IQ, which is a Microsoft company, does a 2021 Evil Internet Minute report. And on it, what they have in here is they show you how much breaches, like they're trying to show you what cybersecurity costs and what it costs you to protect against it and what you're losing, right? So like I said, lost to cybersecurity incidents per minute, it's $1,797,945 per minute, right? Now, the predicted cybersecurity spend, they say, is $280,060 per minute, right? So as I read this, I'm like, wait a minute, are they saying that's what people need to spend per minute to protect, like against a breach? Which I don't think is what they're trying to say here, because I did the math on this. I had to bring the calculator up, right? And if that was the case for every minute, right, that's in a year, you would be spending $147,199,536,000, right? So I don't think that's accurate. I think I may be reading this wrong on what this is saying for the predicted cybersecurity spend, but it says $280,000, $280,060 per minute. E-commerce losses to online payment fraud, $38,052 per minute. Average cost of a breach in the healthcare industry, which was actually higher than just online period, was $13.30. So in the healthcare industry, they're saying is a lot more to lose than it is the average cost of a breach, which they say is $7.2 per minute. So this is crazy, right? So the numbers they show here, like when it comes to running a business, like this should really catch these people's attention, right? For the amount of money, because like if you don't have a good IT company, if you're doing like what was that company? Was it Getter? Or what was the one we had? Getter. So like if you do like them and just like start getting rid of your IT department altogether, right? If you just whatever they're doing now, I don't know what they're doing. Like the numbers they're showing here on what you stand to lose is just ridiculous, right? And especially when it's a social media platform like that, where ads are how they make money, right? So if your site is down, nobody's getting advertisements, you're not getting paid off of it, but it's just really ridiculous. But yeah, some of the figures they have in this Risk IQ report are just, it's phenomenal, man. Organizations, like the amount of organizations victimized by ransomware, they say it's 6 per minute, right? So that's about every 10 seconds there's an organization that's being victimized by ransomware, right? So like it's ridiculous. So this right here should drive home for these companies. The cybersecurity needs to be something that's really taken seriously, right? Because when you're losing, $38,052 per minute, for every minute that you're down, like it's just something you don't want to do. Like I always say, the public trust is something you don't want to lose, and you don't want to be losing that money. You know what I'm saying? But LeVon, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. It's obviously cyber security in general has kind of been put by the wayside by some companies until something happens, and then they realize, man, I wish I would have had that cyber security department stood up and ready to activate on these situations. But yeah, even from my own personal experience, like I mess with stuff in the cloud. I put some VMs, things like that, into the cloud, and as soon as I put them out there, I can immediately look at the security logs and see that they're trying to be accessed. If I make it, make the VM accessible on the public internet, and you can see attacks coming instantly. So I know these companies out there, they're constantly being scanned, and a lot of these cyber criminals are using whatever type of software they can find to kind of like analyze the network and find these holes. So it's important for all these organizations to be ready and be prepared. Cyber crimes are going to continue to exist, and they're just going to get better and more sophisticated, and they're going to try to find new holes. And anytime you have a compromised, unpatched system, that's going to be the immediate vector of attack. So it's important for these companies to realize this. And obviously, since you read off those numbers, I mean, it's obvious to see that this is a big can cause a big impact to a company, cause them a lot of money. Obviously, it does take a lot of money to keep yourself ready and prepared, but sometimes you got to find that balance that what you're trying to protect is worth more than what you're spending to protect it. So I think, it just goes to say that you have to make that a top priority. But yeah, nonetheless, I think.
So I got a question for you. You out here putting these VMs in public, man. You just out here putting honeypots everywhere. What you doing, man?
Yeah, that's right. I put them out there to see what I can get, like for these little honeypots, and like, okay, got the people connecting from like I don't know. They come from like Africa. They come from wherever. They come from like Colombia. Come from Europe and all these other places. Yeah, you see all these random IPs pop up in there, like, what the hell? What's going on here? But they're not connected to me anyway. It's just like a random, and it doesn't have any data on it that's of any importance. Just a VM. But you just immediately see the logs, and most of the time they don't really even they don't get in there. You just see that somebody trying to use some sort of like generic like admin or user, like user one, and whatever generic like account they think would use to like log into the VM. And of course, none of them work, but it's interesting seeing that occur. And if you think it's gonna, if it happens to some random Joe that puts a random VM out there, it's happening to anybody, any company out there that has actually important information and systems that are actually active and accessible through the wire. But yeah, I think that's my thoughts on that. I think obviously we just got to do these companies got to do what they need to make sure that they stay safe and look out for their customers like ourselves that are like T-Mobile customers that are getting compromised. I need T-Mobile and other companies alike to put top focus in the cybersecurity, make sure that we stay protected. But what you got on this one, Ryan?
T-Mobile's gonna come after us. We mention them like every episode. They like shut them down. My biggest, because a lot of the numbers are similar to what we've seen in the past. It's the cyber hygiene one that stuck out to me. Like a lot of your money needs to be put into training, and good training, not just death by PowerPoint, because that doesn't help anybody, right? They just continuously do bad practices, weak passwords, being social networked, getting clicking emails in their emails and hyperlinks in their emails. Just like bad cyber hygiene is a huge threat to your organization. So if you want to get a better rate of return on your investment, you need to hire someone or a company or something that will give you good cyber training that will stick out in your employees' minds. Because it not only protects your business, but then it'll protect them on the outside when they go home and do whatever they're doing. So that's a huge one. And I think it's often missed. Like, oh, we just need better firewalls. We got to buy better surveillance. We need to get the most expensive SIEM to monitor our stuff. But what about Joe Smo, who just has no cyber etiquette whatsoever? And you didn't teach him anything. You just gave him a PowerPoint and he clicked through it, signed his name on a certificate. So I think that's huge.
So I agree with you. So I agree with you on that, Ryan. But here's where it gets a little contentious, right? Because I do the training at work, right? Like I do the cybersecurity training and stuff like that at work. But what you run into is that if you want to go outside of however often you're going to do that training, and you could say, maybe we'll do the training quarterly or whatever, right? Or we'll start cutting off accounts or doing whatever.
Right.
But when you start doing those other things, like the people you work with, the employees or customers or whatever, they take it as you're inconveniencing them when you start doing things that you try to keep them sharp with, right? Like if you have some type of
Right.
exercise where you start doing like a spear phishing email or and stuff like that, right? Or just leaving, blank discs somewhere to see what they do with them, right? If they just pop them in their
Some
system or
some
something.
USBs.
Right, or some USBs, you know what I mean? Like when you start doing that, they're like, oh, well, now it just seems like you're playing games with them. Like, hey, I'm busy, I'm over here doing this, that, and the third, and you guys are playing games like this. It's like, no, this is part of cyber hygiene. So like I'm all for it, you
Right.
know what I mean? But there is that delicate balance, right? Because when it comes to especially private companies, right? They don't want somebody they don't want somebody taking up more time in training than what they need to that's going to keep them from making money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right. Which is understandable, but again, I like you and LeVon alluded to, it's a delicate balance. Like, or you could just lose money through a breach because this knucklehead did whatever, put a blank disk in or thought what they thought was a blank disk or went to a bad website and you got hijacked. I don't know. Like it again, because I don't do the training. So I don't have that. I don't have that great responsibility on my shoulders, right? Like, yeah, I can mess up all you want to. Like, that's not my department. I'm not gonna mess up. But I don't know. Like I can honestly say I've never had an entertaining training session to come from cybersecurity. Like anything that I've got that's been fun or funny is something I've acquired myself. Um, just never because it's built. Is that's the way it's built. You know what I mean? Like so, it really comes out to the instructor who's teaching it. So I think like you're funny. So it should be like you probably say things that stick out in your mind and things like that. If I'm doing it, it's going to be monotone. Like
I've, I've had a compliment or two. You know what I
there you
mean?
go.
I've
There
had
you
a
go.
compliment or two.
Like now I'm giving you. I'm mimicking the CBT best I can.
but but
You
but
go
it's
fall asleep.
but it's because I understand that though. Exactly what you're saying though is that I understand that. Like I have to sit there for training too, right? Like everybody else. I'm
Right.
not immune to it, right? Like I'm teaching you what I have to get as well. Even though I'm the teacher, somebody on my team has to go through the briefing with me as well. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's not. I do understand it. Like nobody wants to sit there and do PowerPoint, right? Like in the military for 20 years, that seems like they did a lot of stuff like that, through PowerPoints and CBTs. It's just like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it. You want to make it a little exciting for him, like change it up for him. I got a friend when he used to teach classes, like he would do like when people would eat to get people to respond and give answers, he would have candy, like the little fun size candy,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
he'd throw
Right.
candy out to the class. Yeah. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's it's not going to be your most expensive part of your budget, but I think it's definitely a very important part. Like you got companies like we talked about Getter last week, just fired their whole department, right? So nobody's getting training. So you got,
Mhm.
so people just out there just doing whatever they do, not to bash certain departments or whatever, but like I know coding is built upon a foundation of something that's already been built, right? So if it's already not secured at its foundation, you're just going to continuously stack on top of it and make it even more weak than what it is. I do not program. I don't know how coding actually works. I'm a computer science dropout, but I get security. Security is always supposed to be baked in, right? That's the way it should always be. I get that part of it, um, and you need to properly train people so that way they develop whatever they do, whatever their part of their job is to do with this company, because every single person is a sensor. They need to understand the training. So I think that's pretty important. But just take Shannon's class. Shannon's gonna start selling it off the website that we no longer
That's right.
have. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and land this plane. Another great episode, gentlemen. Definitely tune in to Mondays if you did not hear it. It's about fertility clinic uh, uh, having PHI stolen of their clients. Then tomorrow we have our discussion. So Wednesday's always discussion topic. No Ask Us SP this Thursday, but Friday should be interesting. There's a lot of movies and TV shows and finales and stuff like that happen. So we talk about everything but cyber. So if you want to get our opinion on media in general, definitely tune in for that episode. Uh, you can continue to watch the show depending on how you consume your podcast on 6 different platforms. Spotify, we do video and audio. LinkedIn, we do video. Usually I break it into 2 parts. And then obviously the YouTube. Please go to YouTube. has the same name, The Other Side of the Firewall, to watch the episodes. You get me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And you, LeVon?
Yeah, you can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.